foilboarding. Huh?
So F4 is designed in San Francisco by old guys who've been foiling for years, maybe 10 years. They were not really telling the rest of the world about what they were doing. They're probably not even on Facebook yet, these guys, because they're so old. But they're really smart and they spend a lot of time foiling. So of course they were interested in making a cooperation with Neil Pride, and that's why it's now called Designed by F4 for Neil Pride. And ever since March, when we did the final decision to work together with F4, we've been designing new wings and working on the foil, the mast, the fuselage, everything. Before I say anything else, this is called the mast. It's not the fin or anything, it's the mast. This is the fuselage, and this is the front wing, the back wing. So all the lift from the F4 foil is created from the front wing. The flow above the profile creates a lift, so you get all the lift from the front. You have all the load here. The back wing is just a stabilizer, which can also adjust the pressure to the front wing. If you tilt the back wing down, that will make the back part surge down and the front part come up. So you can really adjust it a lot. And by adding just one washer, it makes a huge difference. At the moment we are working on making special thinner washers because one is actually too much of an adjustment. So it's really sensitive. But for sure, the more parallel or the more same angle the two wings have, the more efficient it is. So you don't have two different angles creating drag. So that's what we're going for. High lift wing. That's the name of it, I just had to remember. This is the high speed wing. So we use this in lighter wind to get lift, to get planing earlier, and to get more power, drive, to get upwind, downwind. It actually works really well for the intermediate guys because it's a bit wider, it has more stability. It's not reacting so quickly as the small one. Once you put this one, it's really sensitive to your movements, so you can come up and down really quick. You can go from side to side really quickly as well. Now that I got a better level, I feel more comfortable with this in waves because I can really play with it. But in the beginning, it was quite hard to learn on this one, which I did. High speed wing. I will already use this from 12 knots. Free ride sail or wave sail. 5 square meters, 6 square meter, and just remember not to go out in strong wind because it's really powerful. Ruben is laughing a bit. I had him out. You get planing super easy, 2 square meters below what you used to use. So don't forget that. Once I got a bit more advanced, I had more control with the race sail because it's like 2 wings. You have the sail, which is a wing, and then you have the foil. And the lift comes from the foil. You don't want the sail to create the lift for you, because that's just 2 things working against each other. So once you hit a gust, you want to have a stiff profile that doesn't move, because the sail, if the draft moves, you get lift quite easily. And that's also why we're now working on different foil sails. We're going to make an RS flight sail, so really specific for foiling.
Can you explain about
the sail? The sail is basically with the exit of the sail is really flat, almost to a negative shape, which makes extreme release. You don't get any power with the backhand because now that you have no drag in the board, you don't touch the water anymore. You just glide. You don't want to have any tension in the sail left. You want everything to let go, so that when you hit a gust, you just get forward drive and no power that, let's say, power that you cannot use. So this is the thing. The outline of the sail is close to what we have in the race sail. Beginning we tried super narrow sails like the boats, but the control gets lost because you need some area down in the bottom.
Regarding, you say it's pushing you forward.
Yeah.
You told me that actually the boards need to be reinforced in the box, not because of the sideways pressure, but the forces going forward.
Yeah.
So can you explain that?
Yeah, definitely. Let's put it like this. So, because as I told you before, there is no the back wing, steering wing is just neutral. There's no lift on it. There's no load on it. Everything is on the front wing, and because it lifts up, it explains that the foil wants to go forward. So all the tension actually comes in front of the box, and in the same time you have for sure a bit of sideways pressure because you're standing with momentum on the rail. So it creates a huge force here in the box. So we have special boxes, really reinforced. If you take a normal board, it will wear out after maybe 10 sessions, and it can actually break out of the box here. And Twan did it himself on a RRD something prototype. It came out like that, and he was foiling like this because the foil came forward. So his board was like that. The tail came out before the nose came out of the water. Yeah.
What's important?
What's really important is that you have a bit of width, that is not getting too narrow. Too narrow boards are sensitive. Small movements go straight into the steering. If you have a bit of width, closer to, this is 90 centimeters, this is 85 centimeter wide, you have more control, simply. And also it's faster because you have more momentum, you have more leverage down to the wings. The further out you come, the more pressure you can put, the more you can hold the inside rail down, like the kite foilers. They are like this now, and we are trying to get that same position. You just cannot do it when the board is too narrow. And to get a little bit more into details, this is because you have a different mechanism in windsurfing from kitesurfing. You have a point here with a sail. Let's say I'm going this way on the starboard tack. The sail is actually pushing the board this way, meaning to the outside rail, which is good in formula racing. You get lift from the fin. Here you want to do the opposite. You want to have the inside rail down to have that lift coming towards you. So because of this, we just simply need that wider board, especially on the back foot. The back foot, if it comes too far in on a modern slalom board, it's not good. As soon as you want to point a little bit, you feel like your leg gets too short on these boards. So when that's said, we have really big differences as well on the.
Those boards are special made for foiling.
This is completely special foil boards, yeah.
Can you windsurfing with them with a normal thing?
You can, but I don't think anybody will.
No. Okay.
Or not that it's terrible, but I mean, if you buy a board for foiling, you probably have a windsurfing board that's better than this for windsurfing, yeah, because it's not amazing. If you go on a trip, okay, you can put a fin, yeah. So the shape is without any flat area. Everything is rounded. The reason we did this is when you make these drops from 1 meter, you drop down. Often you drop down and land super flat. You don't want anything to be flat under the board. So if you can, if you can have everything rounded, you will have a great forgiveness when you're landing, as well as the rails are also round all the way up here. It helped a lot because in the beginning, every time we dropped, we had a big catapult crash. It was dangerous and hard for the body as well. After a day of foiling, you almost couldn't walk the day after. So both boards have super round rails. Actually, this one is even more. Check out this. These rails are super round, and it doesn't make any big difference because you're always in the air anyway. you get the drive in light wind to get planing from the wings. So you are not really using the length and the glide of the board any longer. You just use the foil to get planing. So it's not a big problem to make these things on the boards. Except from that, you have reinforcement around the mast foot area. Reinforcement in the whole nose because people will get some catapults. And the fin boxes are extremely reinforced. So there are a lot of small things. Foot strap positions.
The stance is quite narrow.
Stand is really narrow, yeah. And that's because you're not loaded like normal windsurfing. Normal windsurfing you need to be out in some different positions. Here it's easier to put the pressure straight down in the rail when you get a bit shorter distance between your feet. So that's why we went narrow. Everything is a balance, with the mast track, the foot straps, more than normal windsurfing because you're in the air flying. So.
Can you tell us a little about technique going upwind and downwind?
Yeah, it's really similar to normal windsurfing. Going really downwind, I keep the board flat, but on a normal reach, perfect reach, I will keep the inside rail down. On an upwind, I will keep the inside rail down, and the board actually surges upwind really easy. I remember the first time I really got the hang of it. I got a good feeling, had a lot of speed, and I wanted to go upwind. I felt like I could just go straight against the wind, and I could for 5 seconds, and then the speed dropped, and had to go down again. But that's how it feels. In the beginning, you think you can just go straight against the wind, and you can for a certain time, and then you have to go down again. So, and this is because once you start to make your curve, you just simply accelerate like you have a ball that you swing in a rope. The speed you get is amazing. I remember Antoine, the first day we were foiling, he was just smiling, and he came down. Every time he came close to the beach, we were watching him. He would come downwind and then start to surge upwind, and he would just accelerate, and we were like, wow.
Because I'm getting, I think, too old and too grey for formula sails, and especially big sails. And I think with this, I have a unique chance to have really a lot of fun and some new fun with smaller equipment and without as much effort as I would have on a normal windsurfer. And talking about what is faster, a lot of people are asking, is it faster than formula? I really don't think we should even question it, because it doesn't matter. This is kite foiling or wind foiling. First of all, is the experience. It's the fun. It's the nice feeling of flying that is attractive, and doesn't really matter if it's faster or not. I really mean it. You would never compete with formula boards, probably. There would be wind foil races separate, and believe me, it'll be 90% of windsurfers will be on foils anyway, and the 10% last of remaining formula sailors, they would be forgotten anyway. Yeah.
Also,
Honestly.
I mean, for the regular customer, the freeride customer, who would never be fast on formula, he can easily jump on this and have fun. So
Yeah.
he will be a lot faster on this one,
Yeah.
compared to if you put me on a formula kit for 5 days, or put this kit for 5 days, I will be so much faster.
Yes.
So it will be faster for the regular guy. One
Yeah.
or two boards in the line, or
JP comes up with one board, this one. This is the final one now. And Neil Pride comes out with this one. This is also the final one.
so
They're just brand new final boards.
okay. And the difference between those are
This one is 85 centimeter wide. No, this one is black, this one is blue.
okay. So it's
This one is 90 centimeter wide.
so it
This is
does
85.
85.
So it doesn't really matter.
This one has a bit sharper rails on the deck shape. I mean, this one is a bit better upwind in my opinion. This one is a bit better downwind. So it's still, foiling is so new. We don't know which race formats we're going to have. If it's going to be just downwind racing, is it going to be figure eights? Probably not. It's going to be super dangerous. Is it going to be upwind formula type upwind downwind races? That's hard to say.
Yeah, okay.
So we don't really know.
Could you tell us a little bit about the silt competition?
Silt, yeah.
Yeah, silt was fun.
Because
It was really fun.
Try for foil catching.
Yeah.
For windsurfing.
Yeah, it was just the first try. It was let's say, it was the first try ever, and we came out to the start. I think we were 12 guys. I'm not sure, but I think we were 12 guys. And the race crew, they said straight away, okay guys, this is first time we ever try this. Please be careful, we don't know how it's gonna go. And people were already laughing when we came out there, what is his name? Antoine Castel, the French guy, who was a really good slalom rider. He came without control, going straight towards the race committee boat. And they were sitting like this in the boat, and he had no control. He couldn't stop anything. So, like these guys were dangerous, and that's why they said, okay, please be careful, guys. But the setup was really nice. We had drones flying, doing live footage. They had the different angles from the beach, from the boats, live streaming. It was super cool. So when we did the first start. There was no noise. That's the first thing I noticed. There was no noise at all. We didn't hear anything. We could just hear the guys on the boat. 3, 2, 1, go. Good start, and no noise. We just crossed the line, everybody flying. That was really nice. What's not nice about it is that you don't know where the other guys are. You cannot hear where they are. Normally, you don't look at people. You don't look back to see where they are. You can hear where they are. Now there's no noise, so sometimes you're like, where is he? Because if maybe he's gonna hit you or something. So it's really exciting. Then the race was like this. We came from the start to the first buoy on a normal slalom course, going a bit downwind, and then instead of jibing, going to the buoy number 2, we went straight from buoy number 1 to buoy number 3. So that means a straight downwind. The reason we did this is because we don't want to jibe all of us together on the first buoy, so we actually came past the first buoy, had to make our own ley line to the third buoy, and then you already have a spread fleet. Some people jibe a bit early, some people jibe a bit late, so it was not too dangerous, and I think that was a great decision. So we just did a downwind course racing. It was super fun. Every time somebody touched the water, the other guy gets a bit of advantage. It's like making a spin out every time you touch. I think that's where we have a big advantage, because with our wings and this foil, when you touch, you don't get sucked to the water, but you kind of do like a flipping rock, just keep going. Many of the other foils, like the Loke, which is really stable foil, but it's as soon as you touch the water, it has some kind of suction. It's like, and then you come out of the water again and you lose too much speed. So we could really push it, and we were not really afraid of touching, but it's not an advantage to touch at all. In the end, we had the last race with an upwind, which was the only race with upwind. We went first downwind and then back up the same way to the finish. So the start was the finish, actually. And that was really fun, because you had the chance to come back after I had a crash. I was almost last. And then I made my way up to take the lead again, and then Antoine passed me in front of the finish line. But it was fun because the race was a bit longer than a traditional slalom race. Interesting. It's made of, okay, I've been saying 60 layers of pre-preg carbon, but I think maybe it's actually 70. And that's why we are so different from the other guys. It's completely solid carbon construction. It has no, what is it called, sandwich. It's just solid all the way through. So it's super compressed. And again, because we want to have it as stiff as possible, when Antoine with his 104 kilos step out on the rail with a lot of different distance from the middle, it really needs to be stiff. On the other branch we could see the foil completely bending. This one is almost completely straight. It makes a big difference. Also wings, fuselage, everything is super strong. This one, it has scratches here because Robert Stroy, he had a crash in Maui. He somehow managed to get the fuselage come underneath one of the rocks on the reef. and had a huge catapult.
Of course.
Yeah, imagine you're in the air, fine balanced, and then something down here takes you. So he had a big crash, and it's still, you know, you don't see anything. I didn't even sand it. It was just like this. Jibing is
Look a little bit hard.
yeah. With a small wing, it's hard to keep flying all the way around. But it's not so hard actually. It's very stable. You just lean and carve. You can jibe it underwater like a normal board. As soon as you put it on the water, it feels like a normal windsurfing board. Actually, with this setup, you can completely ride it like a windsurf board without a foil. So you can do a full race without flying if you want, and then in the air you can start flying, and people will be like, "Whoa, he had a foil." That's how easy it is.
You have different timing in your feet movement and your hands, and you flip all the sails and so on in the jibe.
Yeah, I think so. What I try not to do is to sheet in too much with my sail, because then I have to move it far around, and once you in the middle of the jibe, when you have to open up again, too much movement puts too much influence on the board.
Yeah.
And sometimes when you come from laying down the jibe to moving the sail up, opening and rotating the sail, that will make your board go back into the normal direction again, because you get that different weight distribution to the board. So I try to lead the jibe, open up already in the beginning, and then not make any big movements. Just
And you wait a little bit longer with your feet.
Yeah.
I suppose.
yeah, just yeah.
And it's really smooth. I mean, it's not aggressive. In fact, I mean, it's more
It's not aggressive.
take it easy and
It's fine.
balance.
Yeah,
Fine.
it's not so difficult to balance, but it's just not heavy weight on the foot, and then it just you just step easy, and you have reaction already from the board.
And how about tacking?
Tacking is super efficient. I almost made a planing tack in silt. That's why I got the lead of Antoine. We had to tack around the buoy, and I came super fast. Because the thing is, you can pass the wind window. You can just go straight against the wind and then go even further, planing, flying. And then for sure, when you jump to the other side, you move around the front of the board, so the board comes down, but you have a glide from the foil. It feels like a big cruise ship with a, what is it called, the bulb?
Yeah, the bulb.
The bulb. That's the feeling, because it keeps going. Or the long old Mistral kip. That's how it feels. It just keeps gliding. So you can make super fast tacks. And in any tack you can make a lot of meters upwind.